Hey, do you know what today is?
Today's our anniversary.
Happy anniversary!
I tweaked my neck. It's gonna be hard to look at you.
My back hurts. We're getting old. 14 years.
Okay.
You gonna make it?
I don't know what really hurt. I need to switch seats today. I'm gonna.
Let's do it.
No, it's fine. I'm okay.
We can mix it up.
I'm gonna just look at you awkward.
Well, hey there. Thanks for joining us on the Bear Good Fruit podcast. My name is Ben.
And I'm Julie.
And we are professional communicators, right?
Of which one I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love the Robert Mack reference. Thank you.
Favorite comedian.
Great dry bar comedian special, Robert Mack from robertmack.com. Y'all should look him up. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, what are we here for?
What are we here for? We're here for a podcast.
Yes.
And it just so happens to be a special day that we're shooting this podcast.
Super special. Muy especial.
Is that right?
I think so. Correct me in the comments. But this is our anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I'm excited for the last 14 years of my life, plus 5 that we dated and were engaged over.
Yeah.
So we've spent more than half of our life together.
That's kind of crazy.
It's amazing.
We're old.
We're old.
Is that what that means?
I think so. Well, your neck hurts. My back hurts.
I know.
We're just injured, ridden.
Getting old. Not fun.
Yes.
It's okay. So we thought with it being our anniversary
it's just fun
today.
Same time.
Yeah. Getting
not
old
fun and fun.
With it being our anniversary, we thought, what's a better game than the Newlywed Game, and see how well we actually know each other.
It's like the not so newlywed game.
Yeah, not so newlywed.
Well, I just want to say high five real quick because you're 14. 14 teen that we're at. I remember when we first got married, everyone's like, just wait for 7th year. Like,
yeah,
be lucky to make it there. And then all the love, all the fire, all the things go away.
Yeah, enjoy the puppy love or the newlywed phase.
Yeah.
That's like one of my biggest pet peeves.
Oh my gosh.
Is when people project negativity on the future of someone.
On the newlywed.
When else do we do that in society? Like, congratulations on your new job, but wait for year 2 at that job. I'm sure it's going to stink.
Yeah.
Like, who does that? Like,
and just wait for the politics to catch up with you.
Yeah.
At workplace.
Why is that, I don't know, a common phrase for people to do?
Anyway, maybe for better fruit, let's encourage newlyweds.
Yeah. Just wait till you're 14.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Year 14 has gotten better.
Yes.
I remember Mike and Mike in the Morning. Sorry, I know we're getting to the game. Mike and Mike in the Morning was one of my favorite shows listening to on the way to school, on the way to work. And they every morning would open with the same line, back and better than ever. And I think of that every year when I think of our marriage is back and better than ever.
Yeah.
Okay?
All right.
Stick it to those people that told us, just wait.
Yeah.
We're still waiting. It's awesome. So let's go to the Newlywed Game.
Okay, let's go. All right. So,
and by the way, this is an interactive piece.
Yeah, y'all should play this
because we can't compete against another couple like the traditional Newlywed Game.
Yeah,
we do like winning, so we're gonna compete, and we're gonna add our score at the end. And we encourage you to have these questions with your loved one, your spouse, and try to beat us.
Good luck.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Okay, so our first question is, round 1 is nostalgia question. So who technically initiated the first date?
So we have to write this question or write the answer down.
It's like a factual thing. Some of these will have to be your point of view or my point of view.
Do you want to write all the answers down and then go back and score them?
No, we'll just do the question in the moment.
Okay, question in a moment. So we just answer.
So answer it, yeah.
All right, wait. Whose perspective?
This is just a fact. Who initiated the first date?
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
3, 2, 1. Julie.
Yeah.
You did.
I did.
It was controversial.
It was not. I was going to a new school and I didn't know anyone and we were really good friends. Yeah. So I asked you, please be my date so I don't go by myself.
Yes.
And you did.
Went to homecoming.
Where
there was no dancing.
Nope. We just ate at my private school and got super fancy dressed up. So,
quick funny story is I grew up in the country and I use my hands like every human being should when they eat chicken on the bone. But at your banquet, we were not allowed to use our Our hands.
Well, just no one else was. And
True.
Ben looked like a caveman. He had his like elbows up here trying to figure out how to cut around the bone.
It's intricate to get around those bones.
So after everyone else was done eating, he looked over at me and was like, "Can I just please use my hands?"
Oh man. There wasn't a cleaner bone on any chicken because I was so hungry after struggling so long.
All right, that one was easy.
Yeah.
Let's see if they get.
Is that 10 points?
Yeah, sure. One.
Nailed it.
All right. So, what was the first meal that I cooked for you, and was it edible?
Whoa, that you cooked for me.
I know what it is.
This is pre-marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the one that sticks out to me the most, I'm going to put that one. Sorry, that's probably too much of a clue.
I already knew which one it was.
You ready?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Spaghetti. Oh, meatloaf.
Do you remember? I
remember the garlic spaghetti one.
No, it was the meatloaf. Is when I learned that a clove of garlic is not a whole bulb.
I think it's the same thing. I thought it was spaghetti.
And then you put more ketchup to make it edible. But the meatloaf needed like 3 or 2 of the and I did 2 bulbs of garlic.
2 whole bulbs of garlic in meatloaf.
It was spicy.
You know who ate that?
You did, with a lot of ketchup.
Without complaining.
You did.
Come on, guys.
Yep. All right. Well, it was me. We were thinking the same one, but you thought it was spaghetti.
Same story.
For all the red sauce you had to put on it to get edible. Okay. Number 3. What was the song of our first year together?
Oh, first year?
When we were first together, what was our song?
Got it.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Your man.
Josh Turner. Yep.
Amen.
Good one. That was not our first dance song. It was another Josh Turner song.
It was another Josh. Yeah. I've always been envious of his deep voice.
He's a good singer.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
You got points.
Good luck. We got 2.
Keep the score?
Thank you.
My marker's not very strong.
Okay. What is my guilty pleasure snack that I try to hide in the grocery cart? I don't think I try to hide any in the grocery cart, but
guilty pleasures?
Be my.
You don't hide anything. We don't really hide anything from each other. But there's a guilty pleasures.
What is?
I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure. Looking in the kitchen, just trying to get some ideas.
When I walk in there,
I mean,
and I'm like,
I wrote something.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
V8. Oh yeah.
Snack.
It's your one special treat.
That is every day. I get one of my V8 drinks that I love.
And we're trying to reduce the amount of caffeine we consume, and it does have caffeine. So that was where the guilt of like, you know what? Just once,
a little bit,
one little can a day.
Good try. Okay. Good try.
Failed.
No. All right. For you, if you're scrolling on your phone in bed, what app are you most likely on?
Scrolling? That kind of forces me to choose an app that scrolls. I have pushback.
You have so much follow-up questions.
Man, what app am I scrolling?
Can we put 2? Can we put 2?
I'll do what app am I most likely on? And the second one. Okay. Ready?
All right. So if you have to scroll, what are you on?
If I have to scroll, I'm on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, Facebook Market. But if you don't have to scroll, what are you on?
Clash of Clans. Clash Royale.
I put Clash of Titans. I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah.
Is that close?
Yeah. It's close. Clash. I mean, it's I don't know Clash of Titans. I don't know what that is.
I just know it says Clash.
We have a dog. Hopefully she doesn't ruin our mic setup.
Yes.
We got 2 more questions?
Yeah, 2 more. All right. Which household...
Do we get... So I would say...
We got that. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. Which household chore do I find soul-crushing?
Which... Oh. Yeah.
Is that easy?
Yep.
I don't even have to write it down.
Got it.
3, 2, 1.
Dishes.
Dishes.
And there's a dog.
Dishes. I loathe. I will do laundry. I will vacuum. I'll sweep. I'll wipe down windows, walls, bathrooms. I loathe doing dishes.
Not a fan of dishes.
No.
Good thing I'm good at them.
Okay. If you won the lottery tomorrow. What is the first thing you would want to buy?
First thing I'd want to buy?
Yeah. Oh, this would be way easier if I did it for me.
Yeah. I know your answer. First thing I want to buy. I'm going to say after we give, we're going to buy. That's my logic.
Yeah.
Because the first thing is give.
I know. I don't know if you would keep any of it. Knowing you.
I would give. First thing for our family that I would buy.
Just what would you want to buy?
I'm trying to contextualize it to give me a better, clear answer because I have no idea.
You won the lottery.
Okay. I mean, I'll say the answer.
I don't know how big you're gonna go. All right. How big a scale are you going?
I mean, when you say the scale thing, I'm like, well, probably like 12-pack Dr. Pepper, you know? First thing. Or I don't know. But mostly I'll do the biggest just for the fun of this game.
The biggest thing that I think you would buy, I think you would buy like an orphanage somewhere and support an orphanage overseas or here locally.
That's a great answer. Too bad I'm not that holy. But I was thinking long term with Tree of Life and things. I was thinking of building the sanctuary, the barn, the whole wedding venue-esque looking
vision of nature.
The church. Yeah, the whole kit and caboodle when it comes to that.
That's a good one.
Obviously paying off, debt and the mortgage of this house and trying to get debt free for our family. Yeah. This dog is about to jump.
All right, see ya.
Sorry.
Okay, and
that's probably not as fun.
One last one. If it was mine, what would it be?
Lake house.
Lake house. Yeah. House on the lake. That's all I want.
Lake is your happy place.
That is my happy place. All right, last one. In one word, what would you describe 14 years of marriage?
Man, one word?
One word.
Oh, I got you. We're writing this. Don't look at mine.
I'm not. All right.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Fruitful.
Oh, I did beautiful. Fruitful.
Fruitful, beautiful. Same thing. Yeah, it's stuck in my head.
4 points.
That's not good. Out of 8?
Yeah, I think so. Well,
y'all can beat us.
Congratulations, everyone else.
Take on the challenge, people.
Good job, though. That's our game.
Thanks for dating me.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I enjoy games with my wife. For Mother's Day this past weekend, what did Julie want to do? She wanted to play board games with her family.
And they let me win, too, which that was very nice of you guys.
It's debatable. She's the most competitive person in our family, and she's really skilled at board games.
It's fun as the boys are getting older, and I don't have to let them win.
Same in basketball for me.
Is it? Yeah. But it's soul crushing when they beat you when you're trying your best.
Oh, man.
It's like, oh, man, they have...
Any shooting competition where there's distance.
Yeah.
Let me play down low. Let me do my little hooks and little bank shots.
7 kids.
Yeah, our kids will drill it from outside compared to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do try sometimes.
Yeah,
they whoop me.
It was a good Mother's Day. So on with the game we did for our anniversary. So what is the topic of the podcast?
Well, I feel it's relevant because we're celebrating anniversary. It's important to talk about marriage.
Yeah,
marriage is kind of a big deal to the vision behind this church, of Tree-of-Life.Church. But also, it's a big deal in Scripture.
When you say it's a big deal behind the church, what do you mean in that?
Yeah, so a lot of the vision and the hope of what we are going to accomplish as God's church is to heal marriages, is to heal brokenness in relationships. Because we also know sociologists have proven the healthier a marriage, the healthier the children, if they have kids. But also within society, like there's this foundational, I guess, moral integrity that if you have a healthy, successful marriage, you will be a better citizen. You will be a better, I would say, kingdom advocate if one is married. Now, we'll talk about if everyone needs to get married. That's a whole nother conversation. But with the people that are wanting to get married, to counsel, to prepare, to guide, shepherd, to help mentor so that their marriage is the most fruitful. And I'm not talking about procreation. I'm talking about livelihood and healthy and all the fruit of the Spirit, that their marriage is successful in that sense. But also, there's so many children, when a marriage gets broken, are affected negatively. There's more, let's just say, addiction can play a role in breaking a marriage, right? And so, how do we save this marriage? Is by helping someone be restored from addiction.
Yeah.
What puts strain on marriages? Well, finances, obviously. So, helping people through that. Raising up children with special needs and disabilities and things, that really puts a strain on marriages, and it can strain people apart. So yeah, a lot of what we do is for families to thrive, to succeed, so that, when I'm thinking about the song, The Blessing, that the Lord bless you and keep you, and then that blessing is extended to the children and their children and their children, and God's love and mercy goes for 1,000 generations versus his judgment that lasts for 3 to the 4th generation. So for me, I think God favors healthy marriages and wants the best for us to enjoy.
Yeah.
And marriages sometimes, and it's not the only thing, but can truly affect civilization in such a way that can be positive or negative, depending on how they go.
Yeah. So like we were talking about in the beginning of like when people were like, oh, congratulations on being newly married, but like just for a year or so. And so I think today we're going to talk about some myths maybe that like society might bring towards marriage, or maybe they're not myths, or see where people land with it. So common myths
about marriage in America.
So the first one we kind of wrote down would be soulmate, the one.
Remember that?
Yeah. So we jokingly laugh about this now because our song, speaking of Josh Turner, who we really like, our wedding song was called Soulmate by Josh Turner.
Yeah.
But if you were to ask Ben today, Ben, do you believe that I'm your soulmate? What would you say?
Soulmates are made, not... What's the other song?
Soulmates are found, they're made.
They're not found, they're made. Yes, that's what I would say.
Okay.
I would say, yeah, we are soulmates in the sense, yeah.
You would say that.
But in how we became soulmates is the I guess, nuance.
Okay.
Should we talk about that?
Go for it.
Yeah, so growing up, and this is kind of nerdy, but it kind of plays an important role. We were very Calvinistic, and growing up in a church that was Baptist, and there was just this certain framework of how we believe God works in the world, and that there was one person that was made specifically for us, that we are to find and marry them, because that one person is our soulmate. And we're a perfect compatibility match. Like, this was back in the eHarmony days when there was this social scientist, whatever, who made eHarmony, the first like really big tech innovation that statistically improved marriages and success rates and reduced divorce rates. I think I could be wrong in that.
That's at least like
big claim.
What they were portraying. They were trying to do.
So anyway, in the early eHarmony days, it's like, we'll help you find your soulmate. We'll help you find your match, and compatibility studies and all those kind of things. The dog just chased the cat up the stairs.
Nice.
So it's like a cartoon around here. But anyways, I grew up believing that there was one person that was made for me. But I come to realize that we actually went to a church in college called The Well in Tallahassee, City Church now, where Dean and Sarah was the preacher, and he would preach like, I could in theory marry, not at the same time, but any other, anyone else, or not anyone, but you get what I'm saying. There's multiple options out there, but the value that my covenant, my commitment to you is that I chose you. I chose to pursue you. I chose to love you, to give you, everything that I have, all those kind of things.
And it wasn't just a choice on that day, but it's a choice from this day forward to continue to choose you, to continue to show love, to deepen our relationship. I think a lot of times in that viewpoint of like, this is my potential soulmate, it's like, oh, I found them. Okay, good. Like, we click, we're attracted to each other. This is it. And then you say your vows on that day, and then you're good, but you're forgetting this day forward. So when people feel as if I'm falling out of love, or I'm not as attracted anymore, or stuff like that, which I feel like people often say, it's because maybe they've been also told, as we were, like, maybe this isn't my soulmate because I don't feel this way anymore. And so that can be, I don't.
Yeah. Well, and it justifies cutting someone off. It's like, well, if you don't get along with me or we keep arguing, like soulmates without the work can turn into roommates.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you lose that dynamic and the choice every day to pursue the other, that it just becomes justifiable that, well, we're not soulmates. Yeah. So I must have found the wrong person. So let me go find someone else. And divorce rates skyrocketed through that era of people jumping into marriages because they believed that this person was a soulmate. But then they found out a couple years, 7 years down the road on average, that marriage would fall apart. And that was a lot of the people that were counseling us and saying, just wait for 7 years. Just wait, it's going to fade. Speaking that into us, which stunk.
Yeah.
At the same time, maybe a little bit of us was like motivated to prove people wrong.
I like to win.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
You do. That's good.
And with Ben and I saying this, like, I was joking this morning when we decided to do this topic, like, who are we? We're only 14 years into this. Like,
True.
To some people who, like, some of our friends who were in a wedding this weekend and you're officiating it, like, 14 years seems like a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some of you guys who are going to watch this and be like, y'all are just babies. Like, what do you know?
My parents have been married 50 years.
Yeah, right.
Pretty awesome. They just celebrated that.
That's something to celebrate for sure. So I hope our hearts and how we talk about this come off as what we have learned in these 14 years.
For sure.
And not that we know it all. Our marriage is perfect. That's not our heart in this whatsoever. It's just we truly enjoy being married and having each other as best friends. And when we watch people lose that spark or that love, like, it's so sad. Like, I just want people to love their marriage as much as we do. Like,
it's funny.
What?
You're teasing one of the myths.
Oh, well, I just wanted to put, like, a preface
blanket statement. That's good.
Of just, sometimes I'm like, we're just babies still. Yes. Like, we don't know it all.
We're just babies still. We're getting old.
All right, sorry.
As babies. You're fine.
Okay, so the next one is
the spark one.
Based on feelings, fire leads to losing spark.
Yeah, the spark myth.
Spark myth. Okay.
So yeah, and this kind of dovetails with the soulmate thing. What we were just talking about is if your relationship is built on the feeling that someone gives you, or the affection that you feel, or even desire to give someone else, like that honeymoon phase or puppy love stage of marriage, if that is the foundation that you're building your whole relationship on, it's doomed.
Yeah.
It's myth. Yeah, it's not going to work.
I think what's been interesting as we've been doing marriage counseling with some couples lately is they've got to go through this thing called Symbis, and it's this long bunch of questions and stuff like that. But it's so interesting to get to the root of why people are excited to marry. And sometimes I don't feel like maybe we have the right words to say, like, oh, I'm so excited to marry him because I just can't wait to start our life together, and he's good looking, and is it like, versus like, there needs to be deeper roots than that. Like, then you just want to start a family and because they look good. Like, what is the true, like, what do you connect with? Why were you attracted to them in the first place? What are you excited to grow your family to look like? What are your, hopes and dreams, and how do you connect? And so, yeah, the spark is great. It initiates something, but to keep the spark there, obviously.
Yeah, because the myth is, if you lose your spark, then you lose the fire. And if you don't continue to put logs on the fire, if you don't maintain the fire, if you don't put the effort in the choice every day, love is not feelings based. We can go to 1 Corinthians 13 and read the love chapter of the Bible. None of that is emotion. None of that is feelings. All of it is choice. It's patient, it's kind. Those are actions. Those are choices that you can consciously make. It doesn't keep a record of wrongs. That's a choice. It is not self-seeking. That's a choice. Like, it's not a feelings-based decision to get into marriage. It's, I choose you, and I'm going to pursue you, and I'm going to invest in you, and I'm going to give you my all every single day. Right. So we'll get to more myths, but what were you going to say in response?
And I was like, and there's seasons where I can talk about us, like, we do that well, and there's seasons that we don't do that well.
Yes.
Like, the hope is, the ideal is that you do that every day, right? But there's also times where we don't do that well, and we have to reexamine, like, are we giving our best? Are we pursuing one another? Are we dating one another? Because chaos of this world, the constant busyness, it's a lot easier said than done, I think, a lot of times. So, okay. 50-50.
There it is. Flows really well.
Contractual agreement.
Yeah. 50-50 myth.
50-50.
Yeah. So you do your part, I do my part. This will all work out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that just doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah. If you have a contractual binding, and this is kind of common in the older generation, and I'm not throwing shade at all. I'm just saying this was culturally normal, is that you do your part, I'll do my part. You take care of these bills, you take care of those bills. I do my chores, you do your chores.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever our social agreement is contractually.
Right.
And then when you can't do your part, then I'm justified to be upset or angry, or even this causes this rift or this divisiveness to split us apart and separate. Well, you didn't abide by the contract, therefore I can, jump out of this thing legally. It's like a phone contract. You pay your bill, you keep the phone.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop paying that bill, we're going to take this thing away.
Right.
And your contract is null and void.
Mm-hmm.
That is a horrible way to look at marriage.
Yeah.
It's not a contract. It's not you do your part. Because, to be candid, there was a season of our life where you had a lot of medical things, that complications that took away a lot of your ability.
5%, 95. That's what the split was for a season. Like it just was.
Yeah.
And you could have more than you could have said, this is too much. I can't do all this. I can't juggle the kids. I can't be your caregiver and work full time and take care of 3. Like, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah.
And I would say before that in our marriage, we had an easy marriage. Like, we've moved a ton.
Moved a ton.
Jobs.
Yeah.
Finances have never been skyrocketingly high. So like, I wouldn't say everything's been smooth, but for the
health wise,
most of things, like I would say we can't complain, we've been able to navigate things well. But when my health took a really bad turn, that changed my role, who I was, what I did for the family, and it put everything on your shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And I'm not going to throw shade, but there's a lot of, when a spouse becomes disabled, there's a lot of marriages that can't sustain, that fall apart. And you knew many people in your circles, with Facebook and how it connects people that have similar life circumstances. But there's so many people that their spouse didn't have their back when it came to believing their story, believing their experiences, and kind of taking the side against their spouse. And it just perpetuated division. There was no trust. There was no grace given. And the expectations were, suck it up, do your part. You got to do your part. Yeah. You're not doing your part. Therefore, their marriage fell apart. And that's not what marriage is. It's a covenant.
Right.
It's a blood oath covenant. And that's where it starts, is in Scripture, historically, throughout many civilizations. It's till death do us part is part of the vows.
Yeah.
And you're going to give 100. I'm going to give 100. It's a 100-100 split. It's not a 50-50. I'm going to give everything I have to sustain, to steward this relationship, because there is a lot more honor. There's a lot more beauty and grace. There's a lot more importance sociologically, too, if we maintain this integrity of this relationship. If we can't even keep a house from dividing, how are we going to keep a nation from dividing? And so there's some other aspects culturally that I believe are really important. Yeah. Symbolism behind marriage and things like that. But
yeah. And I think early, like when we were dating, Ben hates the guess. What would you do in the worst case scenario situation? Like when we were dating, it'd be like, what if an alligator came and took one of my arms? What would you do? Like, Ben's like, that's never going to happen.
I'm not going to entertain this.
Entertain it, stuff like that. So I don't know if other couples, jokingly do that. Like, what if I lost all my hair? Would you still find me beautiful? What if, and I played that game as like,
a lot.
Just as a joke. Like I would see whatever. But like, I never thought like, what if half of my body was paralyzed for a year? Would you still love me? Would you still want to kiss me? Like, would you, like, that's that's questions that, like, who wants to ask that? That's morbid. But, like, it comes down to, are you going to put actions behind your words that, like, love you till death do you part?
That's right.
Whether half of your face works or not. Whether all your hair falls out or not. Whether, you know, like, all the different things that when you're young and in love, you can't even picture things that could happen.
I remember a message that I think it was Bob Reed preached on, that when he was younger, he kind of looked at elderly couples as in like, ew, you know, that kind of, again, this is him preaching. But he had this immature view of what love was, because back to that kind of image, the vanity side of I'm attracted to you, I feel this toward you. But elderly couples that have been married for many, many more years have love to remain chesed, you know, that Jewish term, this unconditional, steadfast love that binds you together. And it's not based on your hair. It's not based on your eyes. It's not based on your looks. It's not based on your appearances, but it's based on just who you are. Yeah. And I'm choosing you over anything else, right? And so that reality needs to be lived into. Sure. And we have to conquer our flesh. We have to conquer the things, the powers and principalities of this world to make it work. But when we make it work, it is beautiful. It's life-giving, and it helps raise up maybe not children. Maybe if you're not blessed with the opportunity to have children, it raises up other disciples. It raises up other people with that kind of example. Just being present in the community where people can look to examples of what love is versus what they keep seeing on TikTok, what they keep seeing on movies and TV shows of what love is not, but what's trying to be, trying to imitate love. Yeah, the model of an unconditional relationship matters. So yeah, I think you can hear the language going to a bigger meaning and significance to what marriage is.
So our next one is ball and chain.
My ball and chain, girl.
No more fun for you. You're stuck with me for the rest of your life.
What a funny reference. Like, that's still a thing, you know?
It's so sad.
When have they stopped wearing balls and chains?
Yeah, that's been a very old.
I don't know when that went out of vogue, but I don't know. I know the cartoons I grew up watching.
We were just watching a movie with your mom the other day, and the prisoners had ball and chains.
Oh yeah, the Great Awakening. Yeah, the one with it's based on George Whitefield and his influence on Benjamin Franklin, which then influenced our government, constitution, and all.
But that it's about the last time. 1700s. Yeah. No.
Okay, ball and chain, baby. Yeah, just a dumb mindset is to see your spouse, to see the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, or at least that you said you were, based on your vows, as someone holding you back.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, Paul was a single dude who wrote a book of the Bible that says, 1 Corinthians, if you can not get married, if you can hold off and not get married, it's better for ministry, because then you don't have the responsibilities of taking care of a spouse and taking care of children, that you can focus all of your energy to the kingdom work that God is calling you to do. But if you can't conquer the desires of your flesh, is how he puts it. And again, we'll talk about biblical marriages. That's not the foundation of a marriage, right? Especially a biblical marriage. But he's trying to make a caveat and say, look, if you need to get married because you desire to be with someone else that badly, then get married, right? That's okay. Do it. You know, as kingdom ambassadors, it's okay. And so in one way of interpreting Paul, you can see Paul thinks marriage is a ball and chain because he's a single guy going out there doing all the things.
For ministry.
For ministry. He's not free in the sense that our generation of guys want to feel like they're free. You know, he's traveling city to city, starting up plants, creating a family of God in all these different places. So he is living as a slave to Christ. He's not this, I'm my own God, I can determine my own future kind of guy that thinks he's beyond the help deck by a ball and chain. Yeah. So anyway, marriage is not ball and chain.
Yeah, I don't.
You're my launch pad, my foundation to explore this world with having someone who has my back, who I know is secure, is steady, that is praying for me, that is with me, partnering with me in every facet of life. And so you are just it's almost like a catapult, like a springboard. That's what you are.
Oh, that's sweet.
Thank you.
You complete me. Kids complete the marriage. Oh, this is the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
You complete me, or that kids will complete the marriage.
When you hear that, what do you think?
You complete me. Is that from a movie?
Yes.
What movie is that?
Y'all got to comment. It's a Tom Cruise movie. I know it because we would preach Axis. Here's a little quick plug. Axis is AXIS, is a ministry tool for families that comes up with really cool content, really good content, videos, conversation guides, all sorts of things. A culture translator to help parents navigate the language of Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and it just helps parents be relevant and be able to speak into the lives of them. So they had a video clip of Lego Batman, watching that movie with Tom Cruise saying, "You complete me," and Batman's like, "This is a load of garbage." It's like he's laughing, he's looking around for other people to laugh with, but he's alone in his own movie theater, showing his loneliness. Mm-hmm. But sorry, that's my context of really knowing that clip. But people are going to be like, "How do you not know? It's one of the greatest movies of all time."
I don't like Chick Flick. Cruise. He's like my least favorite actor, so I don't know.
But yeah, you complete me. That's a lot of weight for you to hold.
For sure.
To have to complete me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or that kids will complete a marriage. Like that's a big thing. That would be hard too.
So many healthy, thriving marriages don't have kids. They're not, kids are a blessing for sure. Yes. But you don't need kids to have a complete marriage. Mm-hmm. You can absolutely be thriving in a marriage that's honoring to God, that's honoring to each other. You don't need kids for a healthy marriage.
Right. Yeah. And I think, there is hardship and trial in that. And that is something you and I did not face, is maybe potentially wanting kids in a marriage and not being able to have that. Like that is a strain on a marriage. Yeah. And I can't imagine or empathize with people who go through that. So that is another hardship I'm sure that is put on divorce rates and stuff like that. Just the weight of that is a lot. But thinking that you can't be complete without a particular person, or that just shows our reliance on kids. Like it puts our reliance too much on people of this world. Yeah. Like way too much. Our reliance, our daily fulfillment should be from Christ. Mm-hmm. And one of my friends, Megan, like she is so good about, she loves her kids so much. And she says it's a daily surrender that she knows that her kids are God's. Mm-hmm. Like that's my husband at the end of the day. Like we don't know each day that our kids get. And so every day is a blessing. We don't know each day that our spouses get. Each day is a blessing. But if for some reason they are not here tomorrow, is my sole dependence on them being with me. Like it's heavy. Like I would say I would be so emotionally, mentally, physically crushed. But is my reliance on them or God? Mm-hmm. And I think that's where this phrase gives too much to earthly things, that it's inevitable that things happen in this world, right? And we don't know the timing of all the things, but we have to be able to release that to God and know that God is the one that we can lean on no matter what the circumstance.
Yeah, it's a sobering conversation for sure to talk about the morbidity, not morbidity, what is it called?
Morbidity.
Yeah, morbidity of just the reality of existence and life as we know it being a temporary, time. But at the same time, the pressure that you put on someone through codependency to say, you have this role in my life that you have to complete me, is throwing a lot. Yeah. That's not fair for the other person to have, when the reality is none of us are complete without God. Yeah. And obviously I'm a Christian, I'm biased toward that. And maybe you're not a believer, and that's totally fine. Thank you so much, and I respect you so much for listening to a Christian podcast when you may not have the same convictions or being compelled to live the same morals, but or lifestyle. But I just see so many people place so much hope and share their own identity with someone else, even in the context of marriage. Yeah. That when inevitably someone is taken, someone passes away, whether it's accidental or other scenarios that have popped up. And we've walked through life where this has happened with other people, and that person can't make it. You know, it spirals them into a depression. And obviously it's one thing to grieve and be sad. And I couldn't imagine, I went through a bunch when you were sick, and checking your pulse and that reality, like, did she make it through the night last night? Like, that was a reality of some of our nights together during that season. And it was stressful. It was unstable. It was uncertain, and it was freaking me out. And so if I didn't have a greater source, a more eternal source to keep me grounded, to keep me hopeful, to keep as the source of my joy, the source of my identity, my purpose, if all of that was put on you, that's even more stress for you to carry. But also, inevitably, you're going to let me down in some way, and I'm going to let you down in some way.
Right.
Therefore, my whole foundation is just rocked,
and
it can crumble. Same with I mean, there's a huge opportunity too with if you're unfortunately not able to have children. There's opportunities, one, to commit to each other and have that beautiful marriage together. But we do know factually the best, most ideal place to raise up children is under a household with an institution of marriage represented. And I believe that if you have a thriving, healthy marriage and you don't have children, you become an ideal candidate, an ideal person just to pray about and to consider fostering or providing respite for a family that is in the foster care so that they can take a break, so that their family dynamics can be more healthy and be more sound. But again, children don't complete a marriage, and our spouse doesn't complete us.
Yeah.
That's only God's job. Only God can complete us, and we are all incomplete without him.
Yeah, and when we would talk about relationships with our students, we would talk about codependency, what was the three?
Independency and interdependency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk about those a little bit. And I don't know, I think it's helpful to like self-examine where you are in your relationship in those.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not independent from you.
Right.
You know, we have a shared account. We have shared lifestyle. We are biblically two become one.
Right.
But I'm not fully dependent on you for my existence or my survival. That would be a codependency where now you are tasked with this obligation of now performing in such a way to maintain my health. And there has to be a boundary set to where we both have our each of our own journeys, our own faiths, our own identities. At the same time, we have chosen each other to come together. So there's the interdependent piece, not to be codependent or completely independent from each other. But we want to have similar friendships with people in the community. We want to have, you know, things that blend both of our identities together.
Gotcha. And I think our last question, I don't know where we are on time, but
sorry about y'all. Yeah, we're going along. Sorry, but here we're gonna finish with a bang. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna happen.
I guess lastly, like, what is a biblical marriage?
Ooh, that's great. Controversy. You ready?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny too because we were watching a documentary on Mormons.
Yeah.
Right. And they had this practice. Now, this was a fundamentalist portion of this entire religion, but it's not just Mormons. There's also a huge amount of. I have a guy that's Nigerian that was in my class this past semester, and he says culturally it's common for even pastors to have concubines still.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah, Christian pastors to have concubines, and maybe not pastors, but lay people would commonly have their own concubines. And like, technically, that's a biblical marriage, right? Isn't that cringy to hear that?
Cringy. It's so hard to like teaching in kids ministry, like in Gabe's Bible, he has this like action Bible or whatever, and it says like, what is this person known for? And it's like wives, Rachel and Leah. And it's like, what? Like, I don't even want to talk on it. Like explain that. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's so easy there's so many bad marriages in the Bible. So many horrible families that are existing, which gives me hope. One, that God can work through the most dysfunctional families possible. That there's favoritism running amok. You have kids born of this wife versus this wife versus this wife, and concubines everywhere, and the wisest man, according to the Bible, being Solomon, having the most unwise practice when it comes to how many wives he had and how many concubines. All those things, obviously. Dog brought something in. Sorry, it distracted me. I just didn't know if it was an animal. But obviously a biblical marriage, what people mean by that when they say biblical marriage, you got to go to the ideal. You want to go to the beginning. You want to go to Genesis. What does it look like in the ideal situation when you have a man, woman that are covenantally bonded, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, right? This language. I don't have the time to break it down, but the word for man and the word for woman, ish and isha, I believe that there's this Jewish practice where half of the I'm gonna butcher it, but in the Jewish word for these two identities is the identity of God when you put them together. And so it's fascinating how all that's kind of put. You could Google that Jewish teaching on marriage using Hebrew word for man and woman or something like that. But you go to Adam and Eve, and you go to this story where Adam is the only thing that's not good thus far in the story. The sky is good, the light is good, the water is good, the separation with the water, the land, the trees are good, the animals are good, everything is good. But the first thing that's in the Bible that's not good is man is alone, right? Now this is Genesis 2. I kind of combined two different creation narratives, but man needs to be alone, or does not need to be alone. And so man's loneliness is the first bad thing. And so God created him a helper. And people have interpreted that in a destructive way to think like an assistant or like a secretary. That's not what a helper means. The only other person throughout the scripture to be called a helper is the Holy Spirit. And I don't think the Holy Spirit's our secretary. Right. So there's kind of a different dynamic happening where for Adam to be fulfilled and to live out his purpose and his true calling, be fruitful and multiply, he needs a partner in crime. Yeah. Right? He needs someone to call his wife. He needs a woman. And so there's this salvific nature of this relationship bringing salvation to and hope to the generations to come. Sorry, I'm very long-winded because I'm very passionate about this one. What is a biblical marriage? People have said, oh yeah, Adam is this, and then Eve is this subordinate, right? But God didn't take Eve out of Adam's foot. Right. He didn't take Eve out of Adam's head, right? The biblical word is the side of Adam. It's almost like God cut Adam in half and then split him in two and then copied and paste. What I'm saying is there's an equal balance of power. Yeah. And I think it's, oh man, what verse is it where Paul says submit to each other?
Oh, that is...
Corinthians 6, 2 Corinthians 6? No, it's Ephesians.
Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5.
Ephesians 5:21. It starts this section where Paul's like, hey, y'all submit to each other. Husband and wife, submit to each other, right? To glorify the Lord. But then there's this passage that says, wives submit to the husband, who's the head of the house, and then husbands, love your wife, right? Over and over and over.
But I think a part in that specifically, when I think of biblical marriage, is the example of what, because in that,
thank you.
It's how Christ loved the church.
Julie's like, Ben, you're beating around the bush. Yeah. Let's get to the ultimate picture.
Right. The ultimate picture is how Christ loved the church, is the metaphor that they use all the time in marriage. Like that we are the bride, he is the groom. Like that is a constant picture of how Christ and God loved us, sacrificed for us, unconditionally love us. That is what I think a biblical marriage looks like. And it talks about that also in Ephesians.
Yeah. And it's interesting that one of the reasons, and I know we're long on time, but this is just a fun fact. For those who are single out there, like that feel like the church pressures people to be married, that's not the goal of the church. The goal of the church is to honor God. We all have different roles. We're the body of Christ, right? But a lot of the Jewish rabbi and Jewish leaders rejected Jesus as a rabbi because he didn't fulfill the first commandment. The first commandment, God says, be fruitful and multiply. Well, it's kind of, I did a whole message on this, but people can multiply without being fruitful, right? The command is to be fruitful and multiply. And it's beautiful that Christ does not fall into the practice of Judaism where you get married around, 14, 15, right. And you start to procreate as soon as possible, right? And bearing lots of children, filling the earth, all that kind of stuff matters. to their theology. But Christ says no to that. And instead, his bride is not this woman that he needs to have children with and lead. Every rabbi did that. Now, some people believe Paul used to be married.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because he talks about divorce, unequally yoked is another conversation we could have when it comes about marriage. But because he was so committed and his wife was not on board, that he probably separated because he was on fire for the kingdom and he just went around. So anyway, that's actually a thing. A lot of people believe because he was such a good Pharisee, such a good leader, that he was most likely in that track of get married when you're a teenager and then start having kids. Yeah. So it's a whole nother twist on Paul. But back to Jesus, he did not. And so instead, the church became his bride. And he committed everything he had to his church. He wanted everything, every part of his bride to thrive. And so that example of what a husband is to be to a wife matters.
Right.
This agapeo, this self-sacrificial love that's unconditional, self-sacrificing. What's the other one? Action-oriented. And it gives the other person unsurpassable worth. That's who Jesus is to his bride. Not this, as a result of the fall, now you have woman always wanting power over the man, which is the Genesis 3 narrative of the consequences of sin that justified a lot of patriarchal abuse, honestly. But instead, your voice is equal with my voice.
Right.
I see you as an equal, that we are each other's helper, that we submit to each other so that this marriage, this item, this two become one. We are one together, unified on this goal, this yoke that we carry. We're going to the same goal of glorifying God, but also raising up children and impacting this world with an eternal significance that more and more people get to experience this beauty. So,
for sure.
Sorry, that was a
big answer.
I get passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah, marriage is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's awesome. It's something to be taken seriously.
Yes.
Well, quickly, let's caveat too, because this whole conversation, we're also talking ideals. We didn't even talk about confrontation and conflicts in marriage, things like that. That there's two sides to every marriage, every story. We have so many friends that, unfortunately, the marriages have fallen apart. But in some cases, it's fortunate that the marriages fell apart because it probably wasn't established on the right things at the first place. So there's more conversations that we can have, but of course, take all this with a grain of salt.
Take with a grain of salt, and these are ideals, right? That's what we hope to see, but we know that relationships, marriages didn't last for a lot of different reasons. Yeah. It doesn't mean that there was a shortcoming only on one side, or that we don't understand the whole gravity of things. Like, we've walked through divorces, we've walked through broken relationships with people a lot of times, and we are, we feel heavily for those people. And so we just take this conversation hopefully as just what we hope ideals for people are.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that you're irreparable or unredeemable, because that's the biggest lie. That's the biggest myth, is that God can redeem, God can restore, God can repair every single person. He can reconcile us, but at the same time, your identity is in him, and your hope is in him alone. And so the reason I'm so passionate about this, and there's an exciting kind of segue I wanted to make here at the end, just being spirit-led, honestly, I don't really have a whole lot of hope on return, but just to kind of say this would make me feel better.
Cast the vision.
Cast the vision a little bit. A couple years ago, when the first vision of Tree-of-Life.Church came to me, it was more this excited opportunity that we have to, one, honor God, and how, and I'm not saying this is different than other churches, but how we want to build and establish this church and help restore marriages and fulfill and train good marriages and prepare people for those healthy dynamics, is to, one, try to get marriages back into the church. We had our ceremony outside the church, and most people throughout the last 20 years or so, I would say, get married outside of the church. And one of the reasons is because of beauty and aesthetics.
Yeah.
There's those dynamics. And part of our hope, part of our vision is to build a venue where we can host marriages, that we can host and pastorally lead couples who are seeking to get married in this venue, but as a caveat or as an expectation, they have to go through a course, have morals spoken into them, lessons on scripture and on the biblical marriage, and prepare them with premarital counseling so that marriages can be thriving and the next generation of children that are raised within those contexts of marriage would perpetuate the kingdom of God. Mm-hmm. And so if you are compelled by this vision, or may know someone who's compelled by a vision like this, and want to contribute toward that, we would be just so grateful, eternally grateful. But it's beautiful that we get to share a space with Mott's Grove, and we don't know how long that'll last because our kids' wing is getting crowded. It's incredible, it really is. But long term, the hope is to build a venue and officiate weddings and marriages for the people in the community to come to the church and hopefully come to know Christ as a result of that. Absolutely. So, does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does. And so I hope this conversation was fruitful for you. Thanks for listening today.
Absolutely.
And go and bear good fruit.
Yeah.